Hello and welcome back to 3D, the Development Design Digest, where we take a look at the design whole of society approach to rural development. And today we get to the heart of the matter because we're speaking with the Ministry of Rural Development. I'm joined by Additional Secretary Charanjit Singh, who is, by the way, a 1990s batch officer from the Indian Forest Services. And today, as an additional secretary for the Ministry of Rural Development, he's heading the Rural Livelihoods Division at the ministry with a mandate to look at the National Rural Livelihoods Mission, the NRLM, and to find out how communities' engagement can be increased and how more women and men can get involved in this project. We know that both men and women can sign up for the NRLM, but many women sign up, but how involved are they? So what we're going to talk about is the government's effort to try and empower women, to try and get them interested and involved, and trying to be more part of the Indian growth story. Because let's face it, without women, the Indian growth story doesn't really grow. So we know that rural women are at the heart and the core of society's transformation and progress. But how do you actually see their role in driving both economic and social change in rural India?
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me for this. So as you all know that the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission, it's a movement for empowering the women basically. That how we can address the issue of rural poverty by organizing women into self-help groups. So I'm very happy to say that this movement started around 2011-12 and with the mandate that we will mobilize one woman from each rural household. And the target was that we will mobilize around 9 crore women. But we have crossed that 10 crore women now. So it's a huge achievement. I don't think there is any parallel program anywhere in the world. So that is the mandate we achieved. And the second thing was that if we make their groups and we empower them, and that has been the realization also, that if the poor work themselves to address the issue of poverty, then the best results are achieved. And we have seen that also. And why I am saying this, that first we mobilize the women, then we taught them that how they can function in a group, then how they can go to the banks and take the credit from the banks. So I am quite happy to say that around 9.7 lakh crore loan has been realized from the banks. Not only the loan has been taken, that has been put into some productive use also, because they have need to return it with interest.
Right.
So they have returned that amount also, because NPA is hardly 1.5%.
Okay.
So this shows that how this movement is functioning and how the things are going on. So this, I feel that this silent revolution is taking place across the rural India.
Well, that's interesting because I was going to ask you if women, rural women themselves really understand how crucial they are and how much power they could have in changing the landscape of rural India. Do you think they feel it? Do they know it? Because we hear so much about, oh, we must empower them, we must build their capacities because they have little confidence, they don't understand their role. But are you seeing that? Is that true? Or do they know how the power that they have in making a change?
Certainly, I will give you just 2-3 instances which will tell you how the things are impacting.
Okay.
So these were not expected now out of the program, but that is how when the empowerment takes place, the things change.
Okay.
One example I'm going to give is that this self-help group has provided the space to the women outside the home. So this has been a big achievement. Around 2 years ago, the elections were held in Madhya Pradesh, local bodies election. That is the village level, then block level, and then the district level.
Okay.
So there is a 3-tier structure of the panchayats.
Okay.
And you will be surprised to know that more than 17,000 women from the self-help group were elected to various positions of this 3-tier level of panchayat level. So this shows that how the empowerment is taking place and now how they are taking the things into control themselves. So I'm quite sure that the things are going to move very fast from here onwards.
Fabulous. Let's talk a little bit about the Lakpati Didi initiative and similar programs. How has that specifically transformed lives?
So as I mentioned that there are phases. The first phase was the mobilization of the women into SHGs. So we mobilized more than 10 crore.
Into self-help groups, yeah.
Then the second phase was bank linkage. So that has also moved on to now almost auto mode. Last year we mobilized around 1.5 lakh crore loan from the banks. So this also shows that the banks are also on board. So everything is now moving very smoothly. Now we are moving through this third phase. Now we need to ensure that each household has a sustainable livelihood. And what do we mean by sustainable livelihood? So this very, what should I say, a clarion call has been given by the Honorable Prime Minister. Let's make Lakpati Didis. Lakpati Didi, what do you mean? That at least 10,000 rupees should be earned by each woman per month.
Yeah.
So that's why this message has spread across the country. And now we are focusing on increasing the livelihood of the rural women. We have already got 1 crore women who are Lakpati, and our target is to make 3 crore Lakpati.
You're going to triple it. That's pretty impressive. Is there a particular story, a pertinent story that has inspired you along this journey of empowering women and helping them become Lakpati Didis?
Certainly. So I will give you just one more example that we feel that women have got the capacity and they want to scale it up. What do they need? They need the mentorship, hand holding, and they can achieve anything. So I will just give you one example.
Please, yeah.
So there is one lady called Papiya Khatun in West Bengal. So she works on this Kantha sarees. And we have got this incubator component. Incubator component is we are working with the IIM Kolkata.
Okay.
So they provide the hand holding support that how you can scale it up.
Okay.
So around 150 women were selected from West Bengal.
Okay.
And you will be surprised that when we called the application to select this 150, more than 30,000 women applied. Oh, this is the potential and this is the demand. These are the aspiration that the rural women want to excel. So we need to keep up with their pace. So what happened? Then this Papiya Khatun, this was mentored by IIM Kolkata. They taught her that how you can develop a brand and a logo, how you can go to the e-marketing, how you can work with a multinational company. So we tied up with this Tata Group company called Tanera.
Okay.
So they taught her that you need to make designs in this particular way so that you can earn better incomes. So we supported that woman for 1.5 years. When she started, her turnover was 46 lakh rupees per annum. So by the end of 1.5 years, it reached 95 lakhs, more than double.
That's impressive.
And now she's employing 200 more women.
Wonderful. Oh, that's giving me goosebumps. That's such a nice story. Wow. Okay. That's wonderful. She really is a champion cheerleader for it. You mentioned self-help groups and how they get women out of the home. Talk a little bit about that, whether it's self-help groups or panchayats that are central to rural development. Why is that so important? How are they shaping? You mentioned a little bit how they're shaping the role of women, but why is it so important to get them out of the home? It sounds controversial, right? It sounds very progressive. Well, we want to get women out of the home and make them work, but it's more than that, isn't it? It's about breaking barriers and getting them to see themselves in a different light. Can you expand on that?
Okay. So basically, we need to ensure that whatever the aspirations of the women are there, they need to be addressed. And if we want India to be a developed country by 2047, then how you can ignore the 50% of the population? If you want to realize the full potential of each and every individual in the country, only then you can progress. So that's why we are working on this. And as our Honorable Prime Minister also says, not the women development, women-led development. Only that can ensure that India sits in the committee of the developed nation by the 2047. And as you mentioned, I will just address this issue of you mentioned about this Panchayati Raj institutions. I think these both SHGs and PRIs also need to work together
Okay.
because then the full potential can be realized.
Are women as involved in the PRIs? Do they need to, is there more need to bring them into the fold of governance?
No, I will give you, so I have got many stories.
Please give me stories. I love stories.
So I need to control myself.
Let go, let go. No control here.
So last month I was there in Madhya Pradesh, Dhar district. So I went into one of these meeting of cluster level federation. We have got SHG, then we have got village organization, and sub block level we have got this cluster level federation. And there was one, so I was interacting with this cluster level federation woman. And then one sarpanch also came from that area. So just jokingly I asked that how you ensure that these SHG participates in the Gram Sabha or the various activities of the panchayats. Then the Sarpanch said, sir, if these women don't come, then the Gram Sabha cannot be held. Because this is the strength that they come and then they ensure that full participation takes place and only whatever their demands are there, they need to be addressed. So I will just move one point further. So as you must have seen, now this realization has come to various political parties also that women empowerment is the thing. We need to address whatever demands of them are there. So I think we are moving in the right direction.
Okay, well, great, because often the politicians are the last to move, right? Last to know. So very good. Building capacities, and so first you start by giving them confidence, right, and helping them see their potential. Then you have to help them with the skills and build their capacities. That's a crucial part of the puzzle. Can you talk about some of the innovative skilling programs that you've helped oversee and that the ministry tries to initiate?
Certainly. So I will give you one more example, and this has been my favorite topic also. Everywhere I say this also, that you don't need to give the fish to the person every day. Just teach that person how to do the fishing. So then he or she can take care of herself forever. So that has been our mandate, and our focus in the day NRLM is also capacity building. Constant capacity building is required.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy to share one more instance. We feel that this financial literacy is also very important.
Yeah.
If we teach the woman that what are the products available in the market, from where you can take the loan, how you should know about the loss and profit, how do you, everything you should know about the business also.
Absolutely.
So we were working for this a long time. You must know that there is a Reserve Bank of India, so that controls the whole monetary policy in the country. So they have got a lot of fund that is under the Depositor Education Awareness Fund. So what is this fund? Because the accounts which are lying dormant for more than 10 years. So that amount goes into this. So more than 1 lakh crore they have got like this. So this money is used for this Depositor Education Awareness Fund. So we convince them that you should give this money for generating awareness of this rural movement regarding this financial literacy. I am quite happy to say that we started this pilot experiment, and this has been appreciated by Reserve Bank of India. And now they want to provide much more fund so that this digital literacy, financial literacy takes place across the country, where we teach all the financial literacy aspects.
Because that's an issue, isn't it? There are funds, but they do sometimes lie dormant, don't they? And you have to figure out, come on, let's get it in the right place. And that's where you have to design a solution, right? That actually works. And you can't just dump money in something and turn around and hope that it takes seed. What though, on that subject, what do you think are some of the weakest links? What are some of the areas where, come on, let's be fair, we need to pull our bootstraps up a bit in certain areas?
I would not say this weakness, I will say this challenge.
Okay.
Because
Spoken like a bureaucrat.
so as I mentioned earlier also, the loans to the SHG are now on the auto mode.
Okay.
we are providing them regularly loan up to 3 lakh and 5 lakh. The government provides the interest subvention also. But some of the women of these SHGs are not happy with that now.
Okay.
Because now their aspirations have raised.
Fabulous.
I don't want 20,000. I don't want 30,000. I want 1 lakh rupees. I want 5 lakh rupees. I want 10 lakh rupees. I want to scale up my business.
Yeah.
So I want to move ahead because that is how the market functions. Some people want to move fast. Some people are slow.
Great.
So how do we support those women? So that has been challenge. And I'm quite happy to say that we have addressed this challenge also. We made a beginning this year only.
Okay.
That how to provide loan, the individual loan to this SHG members. So we started in collaboration with the State Bank of India this year. We launched a specific product called Swam Siddha. Swam Siddha means Swam means self, Siddh means prove. So I can prove myself if you support me properly.
Right.
So we launched this specific product.
Okay.
And not only this, seeing the success of this product, 10 more banks have come forward that we also want to join you.
I was going to say, like, that's usually what banks do. I mean, that is the banking business. If they see somebody who's a good risk, who's a good bet, then they want to loan money to them because that's how they function. So I guess sometimes, why was there even a need for that? Is that because people would look at rural women and say, you're too risky, we're not going to do it? Is it because they were too disconnected from mainstream banking? Or I would have thought that would have naturally been, I've proved myself, I have a good business, now please give me a lakh so I can grow. That's the way people do business all over the world. So why was there a disconnect in the first place?
Because banks have their concern, no doubt. Because whatever money they want to lend, that money should come back to them so that the NPAs are low. And this happened at the beginning of the SHG movement also. In the beginning, we needed to convince the bank that if you provide the loan to the SHGs, you will get a good business. And why not you come back to us? So when they saw the success of SHG, so they are more than willing now, they want to support us. So the same thing we are applying here also.
So it sounds like there is a weak link,
Yeah.
my word, not yours. And the weak link is maybe the perception that maybe more urban institutions have of village workers or of rural India, and that there's a mismatch that they need to take a chance on it. They need to take a bet on rural India, right? But it's good that you have implemented a program to help them and see that. But there does seem to be a mismatch. Do you think that sometimes people in urban areas don't really rate the potential of rural India?
No, I wouldn't say that. Because there is a specific time period and how the things move.
Okay.
These women also from the SHGs, so they moved from a small business. Like this started by taking loan of 5,000, 6,000, then they moved to 20,000, then they moved to lakhs. So that is how the business moves. So I feel that now we are reaching that stage where then not only Lakpati, I feel that they can become Crorepati also within 5 to 10 years. Because as you get confidence, you start taking more loans and working more. So I think this is a cycle, we need to move through that cycle only. And I don't think there is going to be much problem. And the problem was with the banks was that because bank gives the loan after seeing your credit history.
Right.
That how you are working, what is your history, are you taking loan and returning it?
Right.
These SHG women didn't have the loan history.
Okay.
They were exchanging loan with the SHG because that was not available with the bank records. So now we are working on that only, that how we can digitize their records so that the banks can provide loan based on that.
Okay. So you're creating that infrastructure that just didn't exist because there was no need in the past. Do you think that sometimes at 3D, the Development Design Digest, we really do like to think about design thinking and how that can change a lot of attitudes and perceptions and get things done, taking a more whole of society approach. We often hear about problems of silo thinking in the development world, and how there can sometimes be people who only work in one area or only talk to one department, and everybody's stuck in their silos doing good things but not actually seeing the overarching picture. Do you think that's a problem? Have you seen that that's a problem, or is that something that's been addressed in the last few years?
I think this SHG movement has addressed this problem, I'd say, because we have provided a very strong platform of SHGs. And seeing the success of this platform, every department works onto that. I will just give you one more example. There is one scheme called Pradhan Mantri Formalization of Micro Enterprises. So this is the scheme of Ministry of Food Processing Industries.
Okay.
So we converge with that ministry, and you will be happy to know that rupees 800 crore scheme of that department is totally being implemented by the NRLM.
Okay.
So you go to, I think every second or third village, you will find some food processing industry has been set up by our SHG women in support from the fund being provided from different ministry.
Okay.
Seeing the success of this first phase, now they have brought this second phase of 1200 crores, and now they want to support this SHG members again. Not only that, they are so happy with the success of their scheme. Now they said, why don't you take some of these women to higher order enterprises? We were supporting them 40,000 rupees per enterprise. Said, why don't you take 10 lakh rupees or 50 lakh rupees and scale it up? So I am happy that some of these women are scaling up their industries.
Okay.
So yeah.
And you think that's because there was a desire or a recognition that different departments needed to talk to each other and work together. Is there more of that could happen though?
Certainly. So we are constantly working on that, because there are many schemes of different departments, but they don't reach to the last person where they deserve the most. I think SHG platform provides that. So I will give you just one more example to buttress my point. So we have got this Pashu Sakhis. Pashu Sakhis are basically our SHG members who are providing extension services regarding this livestock, etc.
Okay.
So we train them, and they provide the services. So we interacted with the animal husbandry department. They said we are facing difficulty in the extension. We said we have got this Pashu Sakhis. So why don't you utilize their services?
Okay.
Okay, they said we will exchange the notes, that what sort of training you provide, and we will see what are the gaps. So we worked with them, and then they found there were certain gaps. The 15 days extra module was designed, they were trained, and now they are being recognized as extension agent of the animal husbandry department.
Fabulous. That's looking at the lacunas and figuring out how you can build bridges, right? I'd like to now talk a little bit about the Sustainable Development Goals. How is the Rural Development Ministry aligning with India's commitment to gender equality under the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs?
So I think the day NRLM is the best program, because it is of the woman, for the woman. So if you have got around 10 crore households associated with the movement who are working for the empowerment of women, so what more you can desire for the gender equality? I don't need to say anything more.
Block ticks. Okay, fine. Are there specific areas where you think the actually no, I now want to talk about you. Okay, because I know that there are a lot of people who are always really interested to find out how people got into service. And I want to know, did you always know you wanted to go into civil service or forestry service? And talk a little about your journey. Was it hard to get in?
No, I think it was not hard to get in, because if your hobby becomes your job, so what more do you desire in life? So from the very childhood, I was very much interested in this nature. So I'm lucky to be sitting here amidst this nature today. I think this is the best environment where you can sit and interact, because gives you a totally different feeling, and your mind also functions
This is our office.
yeah.
Yeah.
So very childhood, I wanted to come to the forest service. So I wanted to be among the nature, and how can we function on that. And I used to do a lot of plantation in my childhood only. So when I applied for the forest service, So I came into this service. Then I came to realize that nature and the rural people have got a very strong connection. You can't ensure the nature without working for the development of the rural people. So it clicked my mind in the very beginning of the service. So that I moved in this direction only. And I am quite happy to say that more than for 13 years I am serving in this Ministry of Rural Development. I am thankful to God that He gave me this opportunity.
Well, that's funny because I was going to ask you, you've held many critical roles in your career, and I was going to ask you which one have you enjoyed doing the most? Have you just answered that question? Okay.
I think this part I am holding now, this gave me the best satisfaction, and whatever I wanted to do, I could do, and I feel that I could make some impact in the development of the rural community.
So you've given us a couple examples. You've taken a few names. You've painted some pictures of rural people you've worked with. But I want to know, what's the story that's touched you the most? What's the story that you share at the festival table when you're with your friends and family and you say, let me tell you what happened to me?
So, okay. So I'm just remembering one more story. So I feel that the rural people have got much more knowledge than ourselves also. We need to learn from that and tap into that knowledge. And if we work together, I think we can make a lot of difference. I will just give you one example why I'm saying this. I was posted in Sivni district of Madhya Pradesh. So I roam around in the rural areas a lot. One day I got this information that there is one joint forest management committee in one village.
Okay.
And they are selling custard apple, and the custard apple is a very, so you must taste it.
I love custard apple. Superfood. Fabulous.
So I came to know that they are selling the custard apple to a contractor for around 5 lakh or something. So I like that idea that they jointly decided that they will sell this custard apple. So I said I will go to that village and interact with those village, that how they function. So I went to the village. So I interacted with them. They said, sir, we decided unanimously that we will realize the full potential of the custard apple. So we advertised in the local papers and all the panchayats, and then we did one auction. Then we will sell this custard apple. I said, okay, very good idea. Then we said that only the mature custard apples can be picked up.
Yeah.
So then we earned this amount. We did a good auction. Then I said, okay, very good. Then I said, show me the area from where this custard apple is being grown. So we went to the forest area. So I went to the forest area. I saw there were still custard apple on the trees. I said, when this custard apple has been auctioned, then why this has not been picked up? They said, sir, we have left some of this custard apple for the birds also.
Ah.
Because birds also need to eat the custard apple. We can't pick up all the custard apples. So this is the knowledge of the rural people. They take care of everybody. They said if the birds will eat the custard apple, they will disperse the seed also. So the more custard apple trees comes up. So they don't teach these things in the academy. They need to be learned from the rural people. So they have got the knowledge. You need to open your mind and you need to learn from them.
That's a great story. I love that. Wow, that's so true. That's not in the books. It's probably not in an MBA class either. Very good. This has been great. I have just a few more questions, if I can just take a little bit more of your time. How do you see technology and innovation affecting rural India? Is it going to annihilate rural India? Is AI going to be the end of us? Or is it going to empower rural India? How's technology going to play into it? Not just AI, but technology and innovation in general.
No, certainly technology, I think, is a great levelizer also. I feel that if you want to disseminate the knowledge to the last person, so then the technology is going to help us. Okay. Why I'm saying this? Like I mentioned about this digital literacy, financial literacy. Now our rural women make many products.
Okay.
The difficulty they face is the marketing.
Yes.
But this online marketing, this is the great opportunity. The whole India, the whole world is becoming the market to them. So we need to teach them how you onboard on the e-marketing places, how you do the branding, how you ensure the quality. So, and how you ensure that if somebody orders the product, that should be delivered in time.
Yep.
Like I'm wearing this coat, I want this color,
Yep.
and then you need to supply that color only. So we need to teach them. So we just need to upskill them, reskill them, so that they can take care of this. And the second thing I am saying, if we want to teach them also, now this the YouTube and so many massive online open courses.
Good point.
So they also provide a lot of opportunities.
Yes.
So I think technology is going to be the sea change now.
That's fascinating. I love that. Thank you. Climate change, though, that's going to be a real tough one to weather. What's being done? Is enough being done? And are rural Indians aware of what's coming for them? Because they're going to be at the brunt end of it, aren't they?
I think that is one more topic which I feel is very critical and very important, on which we need to work on. Why I'm saying this? Because climate change is going to impact the poor people the most. And women will be the first one to be impacted, because she has to take care of the whole family. So we need to work upon that. We are already working upon that. Then again, I'm coming to this knowledge dissemination. Knowledge dissemination is very critical. Just few days back, we signed one agreement with the Indian Meteorological Department.
Okay.
Why don't you give the knowledge about the upcoming weather conditions to our people?
Okay.
Why don't you teach our community resource person
Yeah.
that the lightning is going to happen tomorrow, so that they can move the livestock to some safe area, because this is going to empower them. So whatever the weather is going to change, so that they can take care of. Then our people had got these crops or varieties of crops, they are climate resistant, like this millets. So we are teaching that also. Then how we are teaching them natural farming also. I think we need to work more in these areas.
Okay, that's interesting. It seems like everything in development always comes back to communication and knowledge dissemination.
Yes.
It's that's okay. Lastly, I would like to know, what is your vision of India at 2047? What do you hope for, or what do you think it's going to be? You can either give me what you hope it's going to be or what you think it's going to be. Maybe it's the same.
No, I think the time for India is coming, and by 2047, I think India will be sitting in the committee of the 12th nation, and women will play a great role in this, and especially the rural India will be the big change maker here, that will ensure that we sit in the committee of the 12th nation. That is our vision.
A rural renaissance?
Yeah, I feel that.
All right. Mr. Singh, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for giving us your knowledge, your disseminating your knowledge and experiences. Thank you for watching. Please share this and stay tuned for the next 3D, the Development Design Digest.